are finding this out now, what we've already known in America, and particularly in the black community, is that if you focus on women and empowering women with information, resources, you can transform entire nations. And this is a wonderful gathering that has been fortifying to me over the years. So I'm very grateful to be invited back for yet another year, but I apologize because I will be sprinting out momentarily to speak to another group of African-American women who are tech entrepreneurs, and something we're trying to push in Newark with our loan programs and other things to get more women and minority women involved in starting businesses and growing businesses and manifesting their dreams in the entrepreneurial world. So apologize for having to go very quickly in a few moments. But the question you asked me, and we talked about this in the back, is the one I really appreciate, which is, what are the practical things that are happening to move the needle on the issues we care about? And what I always get frustrated about other panels is we often have become incredibly articulate at describing the problem, but we fail to implement the solutions that most of us already know anyway. It's sort of like we know from the good book, it says faith without works is dead. And the same way that good conversation without consequential action is meaningless as well. And so the greatest example, I tell people this all the time, and we're going to talk about it, I'm sure, today, is just the power of being a mentor in driving down early unsafe sex practices, driving down juvenile delinquency, driving up. The data is powerful about what one adult in the life of a child will do. But yet here in the New York, New Jersey area, we have thousands and thousands of kids on waiting lists for mentors, because we can't get people to give up just 4 hours a month. The amount of time we spend watching our favorite TV show. And I know you all in New York, you like Jersey Shore, Jerseylicious, Jersey Couture. No, good, thank God. Get them off. But so what I'm saying is, basically, what I want to do is just hit a few practical things that are working in New Jersey, that are working in Newark. Many of them we've looked and gained models from here that were happening in New York that are actually working, but that means nothing if we don't participate. Tomorrow I will take my mentee, and I'm a very busy guy, but I'll take my mentee out, because I know if you go to every 4th grade teacher in the New York, New Jersey area and ask them who are the at-risk kids, they will be incredibly accurate in pointing to the children that we will be reading about in newspapers 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years from now. And so the one thing I want to mention here is we often allow our emotions to get caught up. But what I really appreciate with what I've learned as a leader, and what I've learned, frankly, from some of the leaders on this side of the river, is you've always got to stick to analyzing the data. And the data should govern your actions about what worked. And the example I'll give, and the reason why I keep pointing to Ray Kelly here, is because I joined Mayor Bloomberg and Ray Kelly in a coalition of mayors around America, because we were talking about, as you saw the video, about illegal guns. When I look at the data in my city, law-abiding citizens who buy guns are not involved in shootings in my city. It's just not happening. In Washington, D.C., the Supreme Court overturned their handgun ban. So many people on my side of the political aisle, we were all upset. But I look at the data in my city, we can only find one shooting in my city that was done with somebody who legally acquired a gun. So the data says, why are we wasting our energy in trying to ban law-abiding citizens from getting handguns? The data simply shows that we should focus on the pipeline of illegal weapons. And so one of the things we did is we saw the data of New York City's tip line. That number you saw, in my city, we made it even as easy as we could. If you know somebody who has a gun illegally, you call a line, you get 4 digits. If you call back, and we've made an arrest, and sometimes we've done it and gotten that gun in 6 minutes, you get another 4 digits, you take those 8 digits to banks in Newark, and you get $1,000. Put them into the code in, and you get $1,000, no question asked. Now, we've seen that actually increase almost 50% our gun recoveries now in Newark. But the problem is I go to areas where there's shootings, and I talk to folks, and who knew who the people were. These aren't outside invaders in our community. We know who the folk are. We grew up with them, some of us. They're our children's friends, or what have you. But the biggest impediment to stopping crime in my community is that people in my community aren't sharing the information that they know with others. So the first practical thing I'll tell you, what we're trying to do in Newark, in every single way, make it easy for people who got information to share that information. So that's one. I want to go through just what I believe is changing the criminal justice system. In Newark, we realize that the biggest waste of taxpayer dollars is this silly game we do. It's a painful, dangerous, violent game. But we go through this game that has created America as the #1, the land of the free, is the #1 incarcerating country on the globe. And what we started saying is, let's analyze the data, because we can't, and my former police director, who was a former chief of crime strategy and worked with Ray Kelly, used to always say, we can continue just trying to arrest our way out of this problem, but that will never solve the problem. In fact, if you look at the data in my city, if you are a murder victim in Newark, you are the victim of murder in Newark, there is an 85% chance that you've been arrested before, an average of 10 times. Yeah. Think about this. Now, we have horrible, I visited a shooting victim, an 81-year-old woman, when two guys that were involved in the narcotics gang got into a shooting in my city in a breakfast place. The young woman, the 81-year-old woman, got shot in the arm, in the shoulder. You have definitely those shootings, but the overwhelming majority of our shootings are young men who are going around in this game, and it starts from their earliest ages. It starts from that 5th grader, 6th grader that's starting to get in trouble. And so what we started saying is, we've got to figure out a way to take away from this system that costs billions of dollars, take away from this system the human capital, the human potential, the human genius that gets caught up in it. And once it gets caught up in that system, it gets trapped in that system over and over again. Let's be real with each other. A black man coming out of prison in America, he's now served his time. Let's be very blunt with each other, that it is so difficult now, when that guy comes out, to find a way to integrate back into productive society. There are so many hurdles. You know you can't get a taxi cab license because you have a nonviolent drug offense. It's hard to get a job anywhere, to be an entrepreneur. It's so many hurdles. And while you're in prison, by the way, you have a traffic ticket that now becomes a failure to appear in court. So you come out of prison and you have a warrant out for your arrest. You come out of prison, and even though they knew who you were to lock you up, it becomes hurdle after hurdle just getting identification. So what we said in Newark is, we want to disrupt this system with practical programs that are going to shake it loose. And so here are just 3 snapshots of things we've done with remarkable success. Remarkable success. Let's start on the back end of the system. Guys coming home from prison. If I know, and this is shocking data, that the most dangerous time for a black man in Newark, amazing, the most time they're most likely to die, is in the first 6 months they come back from prison. And so what we said is, we need to do severe interventions to either stop them from getting killed, or to make sure that they don't belong to the 60 to 65% of people going back to prison. So we started practical programs, of which we could use help and volunteers. One of our programs we started, called Delta Alpha Delta Sigma, it's a fraternity called DADS, is a fatherhood program for guys coming home from prison, where we marry the guys with a mentor father. Remember what James Baldwin said? He said, children are never good at listening to their elders, but they never fail to imitate them. And many of the guys coming home who want to be great dads, they don't really have that many models of fatherhood. So we partner these guys with mentor fathers. We give them parenting classes. We bring them together with the mother of their children, because what's that mom been doing while that guy's been in prison? She's been working hard to raise the kids, paying all the bills. When that guy comes out, his child support payments have been collecting in arrears. One of the natural things she wants to say to him is, show me some money. And that guy now has an economic disincentive to going to that woman. So we bring them together. We do all kinds of this small program in Newark, New Jersey.